You already know something is off. Maybe you've known it for a while. You wake up, go through the same routine, do the same things, come home tired, and somewhere in the back of your mind there's this quiet voice that keeps whispering that there has to be more than this. That voice isn't weakness. That voice is wisdom. And today that voice brought you here. Let me be direct with you right from the start, because your time matters and so does your potential. What I'm about to share with you has helped people go from feeling completely stuck, overwhelmed, and financially squeezed to building something real, something that actually generates income, something that belongs entirely to them. And I'm going to walk you through exactly how this works in a way that is simple, practical, and honest. No fluff, no shortcuts, just truth. But before we go any further, I want you to know something. There is a program linked in the description below this video. I'm only mentioning it now because the people who need it most tend to talk themselves out of things quickly. They tell themselves they'll think about it later and later never comes. So if at any point what I share here resonates with something deep inside you, do yourself a favor and check it out before you close this tab and return to the same life you've always had. Now let's talk about where you actually are right now. You're working, maybe hard, maybe incredibly hard. And yet when you look at your bank account, when you look at your schedule, when you look at how much freedom you actually have in your day, something doesn't add up. You're trading hours for dollars, and no matter how many hours you trade, it never seems like enough. The bills keep coming. The opportunities seem to go to other people, and you sit there watching someone else live the kind of life you've imagined for yourself, wondering what they know that you don't. That feeling is suffocating, and I know it because I've talked to thousands of people who carry it every single day. The quiet embarrassment of not being where you thought you'd be by now. The tension in your chest every time an unexpected expense shows up. The mental exhaustion of trying to figure out how to make things work while pretending everything is fine. You put on a good face, you keep moving. But inside there's a heaviness that never fully goes away. And here's the part that makes it worse. You've tried things. Maybe you've looked into ways to make extra money. Maybe you've watched videos, read articles, bought something that promised results and delivered nothing. And now there's a second layer of pain sitting on top of the first one. Not just financial stress, but the sting of having tried and failed. That sting makes you cautious, it makes you skeptical, it makes you hesitate even when the right thing is right in front of you. I completely understand that. And honestly, that skepticism is healthy. It means you've lived in the real world. It means you're not naive. But here's what I need you to consider. The cost of inaction is not zero. Every single day you spend where you are right now without building something different is a day you can never get back. That's not a scare tactic. That's just math. Let's talk about the math for a second, because this is where things get real. If you're currently earning what most people earn, you're likely spending the majority of your waking hours generating income for someone else's dream. You're trading 5 days out of 7 just to pay for 2 days of actual life. And over a year, over 5 years, over a decade, when you add up all of that time and calculate what your freedom is actually costing you in hours, the number is staggering. You are the most valuable asset you own, and right now that asset is underperforming massively. Now flip that script. What if in 6 months from today you had a business that was generating consistent income? Not millions overnight, not some fantasy, but real, meaningful, predictable money coming in from something you built. What would that do to your stress levels? What would that do to the way you sleep at night? What would that do to the way you show up for the people you love? What would it feel like to look at your phone and see revenue notifications instead of bill reminders? That shift from anxiety to possibility, from trap to free, that is not a daydream. That is what building a real business actually does to a person's life. And the path to get there is simpler than you have been led to believe. Here's what actually works. And pay close attention here because this is where most people get it completely wrong. Most people think starting a business means having a revolutionary idea, massive startup capital, technical skills, or years of experience. None of that is true. The most successful small businesses in the world are built on one thing: solving a specific problem for a specific group of people better than anyone else is doing it right now. That's it. That's the whole secret. You don't need to invent something new. You need to be useful. You need to find where people are struggling, step into that space, and offer them relief. When you do that consistently and professionally, people pay you. They pay you gladly. They refer others. And your income grows not because you worked more hours, but because you built something that works even when you're not watching it. The most dangerous myth in business is that you need to be an expert before you start. Wrong. You need to be one step ahead of the person you're helping. Just one step. That's enough to deliver real value. That's enough to build trust. That's enough to get paid. And here's something that took the most successful people years to understand. The market rewards speed and action, not perfection. Every single day you wait for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, the perfect product, someone else is launching something imperfect and making money from it right now. Done beats perfect every single time. Let me tell you what the first 6 months of building a real business can look like when you actually commit. In the first 30 days, you get clear on the problem you solve and who you solve it for. You don't need a logo, you don't need a website, you need clarity. Most people skip this step and wonder why nothing works. Clarity is the foundation of everything. In the next 30 days, you test your idea before you invest heavily in it. You go directly to real people and you ask them one question. Would you pay for this? Not would you like this? Not is this a good idea? Would you pay for this? Real feedback from real humans is worth more than any marketing course ever created. By month 3, you're refining based on what you learned. You're building systems that can deliver your solution consistently without you having to start from scratch every single time. You're making your first sales, maybe not huge numbers, but real ones. Real dollars from real people who found real value in what you built. That moment, the first time money hits your account from something you created, changes something inside you permanently. By month 6, you're iterating. You're growing. You're looking at your business, not as a side hustle you're embarrassed to talk about, but as a legitimate asset that is appreciating in value with every week that passes. That trajectory is not unusual. That is what focused, strategic action creates. And the difference between the people experienciente and the people who don't is not talent. It's not luck. It's not resources. It's decision and direction. Let me say that again. Decision and direction. Those two things separate the people who change their lives from the people who watch other people change theirs. Now let me address the voice in your head that just said, but I don't know where to start. That voice is valid. Starting is genuinely hard when you don't have a clear roadmap. When every piece of advice you find online contradicts the last piece you read. When you feel like everyone else has some insider knowledge that you weren't given. That confusion is real, and it is one of the most expensive things in your life right now, because confusion leads to inaction, and inaction leads to exactly 0 results. The people who move fastest in business are not the smartest ones. They're the ones who have access to the right information in the right order at the right time. They're the ones who don't have to figure out what works through years of trial and error because they had a proven path to follow. They showed up, they did the work, and the system guided them through it step by step. That is the entire difference. Not intelligence, not background, not connections. A proven path and the willingness to walk it. Here's what I want you to sit with for a moment. 5 years from now, where do you want to be? Not in some vague, dreamy way, but specifically. Do you want to still be in the same situation? Do you want to be wondering what your life would have looked like if you had made a different choice today? Or do you want to be the person who decided that enough was enough, that the discomfort of staying the same was finally greater than the discomfort of changing, and did something about it? The cost of where you are is already high. Every day costs you something. The only question is whether you start investing in something that builds toward the life you actually want. The program linked in the description below this video is built for exactly this moment. For exactly where you are. For the person who is ready but needs the roadmap. For the person who is tired of circling the same problems without getting anywhere new. For the person who knows deep down that they are capable of far more than their current circumstances suggest. Most people will watch this and do nothing. They'll tell themselves they'll think about it. They'll come back to it later. And nothing will change. If that's you, honestly, that's okay. Not everyone is ready. But if there's even a small part of you that recognizes this moment as different, as the moment you finally stop waiting and start building, then click that link right now. Not tonight, not tomorrow, right now. Because the version of you that takes action today starts living a different life today.